Imagine this: you're staring down the barrel of a gun, a cold sweat clinging to your skin. A shadowy figure taunts you, demanding your last words. But before you can answer, the scene explodes, taking you back to the beginning of this twisted tale. So today we're diving into Fight Club, a film that will punch a hole in your expectations and leave you questioning reality itself. So let's start. Unraveling the fabric of reality. The film opens with a jarring image: a gun shoved into Jack's Edward Norton mouth. A shadowy figure, Tyler Durden Brad Pitt, holds the gun, taunting Jack for a final message before the inevitable. As the tension builds, the scene dissolves, taking us on a journey to understand how Jack ended up in such a precarious situation. Aching for sleep, yearning for escape. We learn Jack suffers from chronic insomnia, a gnawing emptiness that permeates his life. His job as a product recall specialist for a car company feels utterly meaningless. He travels constantly, finding solace only in the monotony of airplane safety manuals and the sterile comfort of single-serve toiletries at hotels. Desperate for sleep, he resorts to attending support groups for various ailments, feigning illness to exploit the catharsis of shared suffering. The Testicular Cancer Support Group and a cynical connection. One support group, ironically for testicular cancer victims, offers a temporary reprieve. Here, he meets Bob Paulson Meatloaf, a gentle giant with a disarming vulnerability. But the novelty soon wears thin. The groups become a performance, a parade of manufactured pain. Then, Marla singer Helena Bonham Carter enters the scene. A fellow tourist, she exposes the charade, a cynical soul mirroring Jack's growing disillusionment. A chance encounter in a Fight Club is born. On a business trip, Jack meets Tyler Durden, a charismatic soap salesman with a rebellious streak. Their conversation sparks a connection, and fate intervenes when Jack's apartment mysteriously explodes. With nowhere to go, he turns to Tyler. It's here, in a seedy bar parking lot fueled by cheap beer and pent-up frustration, that the first fight erupts. The raw release of primal emotions is a revelation for Jack. This fight ignites a spark, the birth of Fight Club. A brotherhood of bruisers and a rebellion against consumerism. Word of Fight Club spreads like wildfire. Men yearning for a similar catharsis join their ranks. The grimy basement of the bar becomes their sanctuary, a space where they shed social identities and embrace the brutal simplicity of hand-to-hand combat. But Fight Club transcends mere violence. Tyler, the charismatic leader, preaches a gospel of self-reliance and rejects the suffocating grip of consumerism. He uses salvaged human fat to create a unique soap, a tangible symbol of their defiance. Marla, the outsider, and the seeds of doubt. Meanwhile, Jack's encounters with Marla outside Fight Club grow more frequent. Despite their initial antagonism, a connection forms, fueled by a shared cynicism and a yearning for something more. However, Tyler sees Marla as a threat, a loose thread in his carefully constructed world. Her presence sows seeds of doubt in Jack's mind, causing him to question Tyler's motives and the true purpose of Fight Club. Project Mayhem, when rebellion turns destructive. The Fight Club evolves into Project Mayhem. Acts of vandalism escalate into full-blown sabotage, targeting the corporate structures that symbolize everything they oppose. Jack finds himself caught in a whirlwind of destruction, the thrill of rebellion morphing into a desperate need for control. Tyler's charisma darkens, his ideology tinged with a dangerous fanaticism. A descent into madness and a desperate search for answers. Fearing he's lost himself in the chaos, Jack embarks on a frantic search for Tyler, hoping to dismantle Project Mayhem before it's too late. His journey leads to shocking revelations. The phone calls, the personality shifts. It dawns on him that Tyler is a figment of his own imagination, a manifestation of his own rage and disillusionment. The Fight Club, the rebellion, even Marla's encounters with Tyler, all figments of a fractured mind. Confronting the shadow self in a fight for survival. Desperate and terrified, Jack confronts Tyler within his own psyche. The final act becomes a literal battle for control, a fight against his own dark desires. They face off in a derelict building amidst the explosives planted for Project Mayhem's grand finale. The fight is brutal, a physical manifestation of the internal conflict raging within Jack. A bullet to the head and a new beginning of sorts. In the film's opening scene, the struggle reaches its climax. Tyler holds the gun, threatening to pull the trigger. But this time, Jack realizes the power lies within him. He shoots himself, silencing the Tyler persona. The gunshot wounds are real for Jack, but for the rest of the world, it appears Tyler is dead. The aftermath, a world transformed and a love story of sorts. With Tyler seemingly gone, Jack recovers in the hospital. Members of Project Mayhem arrive, a twisted sense of camaraderie lingering. Marla, brought in by Tyler's earlier instructions, sits beside him, a silent observer. Looking at the wounded Tyler, the Project Mayhem members leave, fetching medical supplies. Marla, alone with Jack, sees the destruction outside the window of the building succumbing to the explosives. Jack, weak but resolute, tells her, "You met me at a very strange time in my life." Marla, perhaps recognizing a newfound clarity in Jack, takes his hand as the remaining buildings explode. The film ends with an uncertain future. Has Jack truly conquered his inner demons? Will their unconventional relationship survive? The destruction may be complete, but the true impact of Fight Club and Tyler Durden remains an open question. So, if you're looking for a mind-bending movie experience, Fight Club is a must-watch. It's a film that will stay with you long after the credits roll. Like this recap? Hit that like button and subscribe for more movie madness. We've got a whole vault of stories waiting to be cracked open. Stay tuned.